Yes, I'm still here. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this is actually our second live stream for this month. How time flies. Oh my gosh, what is going on? We have like so many. I didn't think I was late, but we already have a bunch of comments. Uh, the forbidden sandwich. Yes,
That
ham sandwich is the forbidden sandwich. Everyone knows
yeah.
that.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other white meat.
Yes.
And
Give me my
Neo
baby back ribs.
Neil will be listening in, I guess, and he can't join us. He has apparently something better to do than sit around online talking to a bunch of guys. But
I find that hard to believe.
actually, what is the music of madness? What does that mean?
I have no idea, unfortunately.
Oh no,
All right, and
I think he's referring to the band called Madness.
Okay,
oh,
They were,
okay,
yeah,
I'm not familiar with the Mets that much, so I can't really talk about that.
okay,
yeah, they were great.
yeah. All right, I got it now. I was thinking something else on the side. I was thinking the phrase "music of madness" means something, but okay. The first joke: how did God cure Moses' headaches? Headache. He gave him 2 tablets. And
Big
said to call him
tablets.
in.
Big
Yeah, and
tablets.
said to call him in the morning, but one of those things you don't ever get that call.
Unfortunately, God isn't picking up.
Yeah. And do you know why Jesus wore sandals? Because his socks were too holy.
Well, mine are too.
You are so holy.
Yes, I am.
Hello, Aaron.
How you doing, Aaron?
And
Oh,
Sarah, since you just got in,
Yep,
comment for
hello.
you. Like the brood witch?
Yes, that's what I was thinking
Oh,
of.
Yes, the Brood Witch.
okay.
I
And
I understand the reference. I just don't remember because it's been a while since I watched the series.
Yeah.
yes, it would be a divine divine command theory. And I did put a link in the notes to like a video I had made 2 years ago, responding to kind of the same type of argument that Nepi was making, and that was for some people a good introduction to Nepi. All right. Uh,
I'm a nothing. You're a nothing. He's a nothing. We're all nothings. Hey,
yeah, that was like
We're all
another
nihilists, man.
argument he was making.
hey, it's official. I even made a short about it. It's
Oh,
already
did you?
gotten 700. Yeah, it's got 700 views. Hey, it's official. We're made of nothing, according to Atheist.
Wow, that's
That's
pretty
it.
good. I mean, 700 views. That's
All right, I
that's
gotta go
pretty
check the channel
good.
after this.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Yeah, check out Atheist. I haven't actually been on your channel, Serge, so I'll have to go take a look.
That's okay. I don't want to promote it. If you want to do it for me, go ahead. But I'm not going to be rude.
Well, you already did, unfortunately.
Oh, fuck.
I
You're right.
often
Ah,
I
damn
often
it.
find abusive Christians where in their younger years abuse themselves, so no better.
Yes, the cycle continues.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a sad thing, for sure.
Oh, and
And you will
hello,
always
Albania.
get those Christians or abuse victims who would say that, well, my parents beat me and I turned out fine. And everyone knows what that is, right? That's survivorship bias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Anyone
like
gonna take up Albania on his offer to go half seas on that 3-day, 24-hour day, right? 24-hour day class that proves God.
If I open my wallet now, all you see is moss come out, so I can't help you there.
like,
Yeah, it's in the
why does it
comments.
take 3 days to prove that God exists?
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
they've had
And
2,000 years, but they're still arguing about it.
Listening while taking the war to that Austrian Painter Wannabe, classic Doom total conversion called Brutal Wolfenstein Part 2.
Oh,
Oh,
I want to try that now.
All right. One other thing I wanted to comment on is like uh, this was on the video, the live stream, couple of live stream before. One of the comment was from this person. LOL, you just ban anyone that doesn't agree with your nonsense. And I just wanted to demonstrate that I do not have anyone banned. So this is the setting on my channel. It's the user management. So if I've banned anyone or blocked anyone, it would show up here. I don't have anyone banned. For a little while, I think like maybe a few days, I did have uh, I did have our Spunky Boy
Laugh a while you can, monkey boy.
in here, and that was after I had told him if you're not going to, because I said you should come on and you can defend your arguments, and I said if you're not going to contribute anything, you don't need to be on here making comments. So so I told him I was going to block him or ban him, and it was on one of his. He has multiple accounts, but it was on one of his accounts. So for like maybe it was less than a week, or maybe I actually I don't remember the duration, but for some short amount of time I did have him hidden, and I did not know at the time that when you put someone as hidden, that it basically deletes all their comments. So so I don't do that
Yeah,
anymore
live
unless
and
it's
learn
someone
type
who's
of
like,
deal. Unfortunately,
yeah, unless it's someone that's really really abusive. I don't do
I
that.
could think of
So
a few, but
yeah,
It is really annoying. You don't get the choose that you can just hide the stuff,
yeah,
yeah,
or just stop the person talking but leave their comments behind.
yeah.
yeah, that good at yeah, yeah. Sorry.
So yeah, so the rest of it, and we were just talking a little bit before we got on. There seems to be a bit of a dog whistle, this kind of right wing dog whistle, because this person obviously has some anti-trans issues. A man that changes clothes, his voice cuts off his genitals, whatever it does not matter, will never ever be female. No amount of false validation will ever change that either. Enough is enough. So they're not doing that to change their biological sex. This is where a lot of these bigots don't seem to understand the difference between sex and gender. What they're
But here's
doing
the
is yeah, go ahead.
here's the thing: a man who's invisible and lives in the sky is not going to exist either. And what's it? It will never change the non-existence, and enough is enough. Like honestly, it's the same
Yeah.
shit.
But there are obviously people who do not feel that their gender matches their biological sex. And they struggle in society because society not accepting them. And one of the things that we were talking about is, this is where the right wing have moved to. They were previously, just homophobic, right? They were, just wanting to make gay homosexuality illegal, basically, and they had been trying very very hard not to allow for gay marriage, but the society has changed, and society is more accepting of homosexuality. However, this our society in general probably still is uncomfortable with transsexuals. I get not sorry not transsexual, transgender. So so it's okay, it's still all right for them to be bigoted against trans people. It's easier for them than to be bigoted against gays now, and of course, for the most part, people don't accept you being bigoted against blacks and other minorities. Although with the kind of the immigration issues, some people are more willing to accept bit of bigotry against Mexicans, where you see someone Hispanic and just assume they are illegal. So there's still some of that, but for the most part, you'll get called out. But you can be trans people, and it can get couched into, well, they're, invading women's spaces, or they're taking away, you know, uh, like sports or spots in or competing against women in sports. So therefore, it's okay to, say some, for whatever reasons, to say that trans people are wrong. So this person apparently was triggered enough to lie and say that somehow I'm banning someone for their disagreement. And if I did ban people who, quote unquote, doesn't agree, with me, this comment wouldn't be on here. So,
Oh, the irony.
yeah, and as I demonstrated, I don't have anyone banned on my channel. So,
Honestly, I see no point in banning anyone from commenting because they're engaging with the channel, and of course, like we all know, whatever's posted on the internet is going to stay on the internet forever.
This is
So
true.
if someone just happens to come across your channel, they will see it. Maybe they'll comment and engage more and whatever. Like you never know. So may as well just
yeah.
keep the comments flowing.
Yeah, the only time
Or you could be like pirate and just delete your own comments.
That's true.
I do think he's gone and deleted past comments. I haven't really. Oh no. Or deplatforming. Yes. By expressing your opinion. Yes, thank you. But it does seem like pirate has kind of gone away, at least for a while. He does like make a post on his own channel, and where he tags me, so I'll get a notification that that he's made a post about me, because I live rent free in his head. LOL. And it's the same thing. He just says, "Oh, you can't define what a woman is." That's his comment. And no one, probably except me, will actually see that post. And yes, trolls love to j'accuse without justification or reason. But yeah, that's kind of the prelude. But the main topic is going to be on the comments that. Oh, I do have one more thing before I do get to that. So the John McCain account. Let me. Actually, let's hold on. This John McCain account. This is from actually 2 years ago. So he was actually in the comments. A couple years ago. Darn it. I was. Oh, here it is. And it's not obvious here because when he changed his handle, it doesn't show what his original handle was, because in the responses, the ones where there's this link, where it's in blue, that gets updated. So what I did find out was using his kind of his channel ID. What I did find out is his previous handle was bozo underscore. Wait, is it? Sorry, I'm trying to find it now. Oh, bozo underscore weirdo. That was his handle before. And that's where, at least in one of the responses here, I thought I had it. The comments.
It was up at the top.
Oh, was it? Okay. Oh, from Josh, right? Yeah, so this is where Josh, in the response, put the name Bozo. So if you ever interacted with a commenter, Bozo Weirdo, it's basically John McCain. All right. So that was a preamble. But the main topic is going to be about Nepi, about the comments that he was making. And I think in the show notes, some of you noticed that one of the comments was him saying that basically, for God, we're really the equivalent of a ham sandwich that we've manufactured. So that's what he wants to say. Hold on. Whoops.
Yeah, show me a ham sandwich that can feel pain
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Uh,
anguish.
I mean, it's kind of like the same argument that they want to make with, like, we are to God as an ant is to us, right? That's the kind of argument that they're trying to make. So
Yeah, but simultaneously then go and pretend that God cares about, like, why would you then go and make laws that the ants have to follow?
yeah,
Who gives a
and
shit
why
what the
would you
ants do?
care? Like, we don't care if ants are like having gay sex, right?
Yeah,
The only
or
time I
have
worry,
foreskins.
the only time I
Yeah,
worry about an ant is if they start biting me, then they're dead.
yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
But remember, those ants are fallible, so they will never understand our divine purpose
Right.
for them.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Yeah,
don't
and
understand us.
I love them so dearly, but it's okay if I use a magnifying glass to kill them too.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
the
mean,
ant
for
Fucking
God,
phobia.
it's
ridiculous.
yeah, for God, it's even worse, right? It's like like not letting you die and keeping that magnifying glass on it, right? So you have this power to prevent the ant from burning to death, but continuing to feel pain, and you keep that magnifying glass on. So that's the equivalence apparently. We're just an ant to God, and therefore, we are just tiny little feeble creatures. And by the way, I hope you get really upset when ants have sex with aphids, because that's like their version of bestiality.
Ah,
Oh, you know what a better example would be?
oh,
Men in Black 2, when Kay comes out of Jeeves' store, that he looks down, looks at the bug, tries to step on him, then moves his foot away, and the bug says, "Damn decent of you."
yes, I remember that now. Oh, it's been a while.
Damn decent of you. Don't mention it.
Crazy shit.
Yeah, and by the way, I had made, and I think I mentioned at the beginning. So that type of attitude of kind of basically we are just insignificant insects to God. Therefore, if God snuffs you out in your while you sleep, you should just be thankful that you didn't get killed, right? So, and that was like a couple years ago. So it's a long time ago. And that video, if I have a link for it in the notes, but if you look it up, it gives a little background to what and who Nepi is, and all his alt accounts. Actually, maybe I should
The alt
share.
account thing stopped being an issue now that YouTube has stopped deleting accounts for breaching its terms of service. I don't know why they even have terms of service anymore, because they don't fucking enforce them.
Yeah, that's true. I'm like, why even make us go through the rigmarole if you're not even going to do it yourself? Come on.
I guess they kind of figured out that the economics is more important than terms of service.
Well, yeah, that's true. The more people
Well,
engage, the more.
more importantly, though, I think they figured out that they can't go banning people from their platform, because the majority of the people who get banned are bigoted right-wing fucktards. So
Yeah,
they will go
there's just too
complaining
many of
and
them.
yeah, they'll just go complaining, and next thing, YouTube is getting in trouble with the Trump administration.
Oh,
Oh, that makes sense.
I wonder if that has been an impact, right? Where
I can guarantee it has.
yeah, because of the Trump. So if it wasn't the Trump administration, if Harris had won, they might still be enforcing the terms of service.
Yeah, because they used to, and it worked well for them. And like, how well did Twitter go when they stopped enforcing the terms of service? A huge number of advertisers exited the platform because they didn't want they don't want baby formula advertised next to a Nazi video. So
Yeah.
you just go, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be spending my money there. So there's good reasons for those terms of service.
Yeah, true.
Hmm.
But yeah, you
Yeah,
get
but that is an interesting point. That it could have been different. These social media, their behavior would have been different. It not even could have. I think we can say it would have
Yeah,
been different.
it's pretty reasonable to argue that yeah, they've stopped enforcing it
Yeah.
because they know they won't get into trouble for having the most fucked up shit you can imagine written all over their platform. The Trump administration's not going to give them grief for it.
oh yeah.
So here's a comment. I mean, this is the response to the comment that Nepi is responding to. So I said Christians like Nepi got on here and say that since God supposedly created you, he can do whatever he wants with you. It's even okay that he tortures you for eternity. He's also okay with God killing a baby to punish David's adultery, because that's what I was responding to him, saying that God was just by killing David's baby because David committed adultery. So not punishing David, at least not directly, but punishing his baby in order to punish David. And the same thing with David's wives, right? Basically, God said that I will cause, your neighbor to go and essentially, I guess I should say grape. I think on TikTok, everyone says grape, so now I have to say grape. God is going to cause his neighbor to grape his wives in broad daylight, because I'll do in broad daylight what you did in the cover of night. So that apparently is okay with Nepi, that God punishes these women, because in the Bible, the women are just basically things, right? Property. Just
Well,
like,
that's why they're included in the chattel,
yeah,
one of the 10 Commandments.
yeah.
The
And
thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's chattel, and
yeah,
which includes the
including
wife.
his
Property.
wife. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, this goes to our
Laugh a while you
perennial
can,
troll.
monkey boy.
When he says that children are property, it's sort of, I mean, this is kind of an argument that supports his point, right? Basically, the baby is just a property that's being taken away from David to punish David, right? So the baby is not a sovereign individual. It's not a human being. The baby is just if you want to say it, just a ham sandwich,
Which is
that
pretty ironic
that belongs to
considering
David.
the arguments they keep going on about how life is sacred and all the
Yeah.
rest of it, and then all of a sudden you go, no, but it's okay to do this.
The hypocrisy is
Nappy is talking
No,
out of his rear. Why would God give free will then if he's just going to do what he likes or can do what he likes? I guess he's okay with slaves too. I would imagine Neppy would be a slave apologist. Actually,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
definitely is.
well, what he says that there is no slavery in the Bible. It's all
Yeah.
just what is indentured
Voluntary.
servitude, and
Yeah.
also the part in the Deuteronomy where it says get your slaves from countries surrounding you, and you can pass
there you
them
go.
off as what he says to that is that those quote unquote slaves were willing slaves. They all willingly became slaves. So it's not slavery. That's what he says. So that is his thinking.
You may purchase your indentured servants from the heathen around you. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. Apparently, when you purchase them, you ask them first, "Oh, is it okay if I purchase you?" And all of them willingly says, "Oh yeah, sure, go ahead." And also make sure that you bequeath me to your children when you die, because I love being a slave.
and it's
I
also
love not getting paid to work, 16 hours a day, and get beaten with a rod when I don't obey my master correctly.
Just make sure
So
that when you get beaten, you don't die within a couple of
yeah,
minutes.
you have to control yourself. That's
Yeah.
being like a good slave master. So Nepi isn't ever going to come on here to defend his views.
No, he's not.
But I
They
think
never
what he
will.
would, yeah. But if he got on, oh, hold on. Oh, here's a good point. Do the girls also get to choose? No, actually, even on the indenture servitude, let's say that you got sold, a man, an indenture servant, would actually go free during the Jubilee, but the
The women
girls
never do.
don't,
The women and
right?
the
They
Yeah.
never
children of
do.
a slave
They're
don't.
they're forever slaves.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah,
that's
and
exclusively for Jews.
the daughter being sold by her dad
Yeah.
doesn't really get a choice there either. There's no mention of a choice. It's just dad selling the daughter into slavery, and that slavery will continue for
Well,
her
I
entire
think
life and the lives of all of her children and children's children.
so. I think Nephi would say, no, no, they get a choice. Of course, they get a
All
choice.
right, Neppy,
If
point
they
out.
said no, they don't get
Where's
sold.
that? Yeah,
Yeah.
where's
No,
that?
the extended
Yeah,
warranty ran out, so they got to sell them because they don't like them anymore.
And Craig points out the little trick you can do as a slave master if you don't want to let your male servants go free after the Jubilee, at the Jubilee. What you could do is you could give that servant a wife and have them build up a family, have kids. So he gets to go, but he can't take his wife and children with him. So the option is, if you are someone who actually cares about your family, you would just tell your master, I'll be your slave forever. And so they get like a hole drilled in their earlobe to signify that they are forever a slave. In that case, it is
let's
a quote unquote choice, right? Not a real
yeah, but
choice.
let's not forget though that you also that what you have to say is that you love your master. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter how much you hate the obnoxious fuck knuckle. You have to say, "I love my master. Um, oh, please let me stay,"
Yep.
and pretend it's all about him. And you just go, "Yeah, that's not how that works."
Yeah. So what I want, I think the argument that Nepi would make again, because he's never going to come on here, I think what he would say is that for these people who quote unquote chooses slavery, they are in a position where their alternative is going to be like worse, right? Where they're not going to, they're in a. Sorry, I'm going to. There's some background, so I'm going to mute you guys, but. Um, so please unmute when you want to talk. But what Nepi would say is that for these people, they are better off by becoming a slave, and that's why they are sort of choosing the slavery, because otherwise they would starve to death or whatever, or if they are kind of basically the spoils of war, where the Israelites invaded your city and essentially won and took you as slave, uh, that the alternative is that it's better that they took you slave, because the alternative is to just kill you, right? You so you, they're being merciful by taking you as a slave, so you're better off
Yeah, how
as a
fucking
slave.
magnanimous.
But
Yeah.
but if when you die, you go into the kingdom of heaven.
No, you won't, because you're against, at least at that time, right? Because Jesus wasn't there at that time, and you're
Oh,
not
right.
one of the chosen people. So you just go to hell. So all the little babies that they massacred because God told them to, they're not going to go to heaven. They'll go to hell. I hate slavery in the Bible big time. It doesn't matter how you try to dress it up, it's still morally wrong. And that's really the issue, right? Because a lot of these Christian apologists will come on and say, well, you atheists, you think everything is your own preference, and but we have objective morality, and our objective morality is based on God, and therefore we are superior. But then as soon as you go into slavery, it's like they either go one of two ways. One is like to the Nepi way, where you deny that it's real slavery. The other is to say that it's it's okay, or it was the slavery was basically part of that society, part of that culture at the time, and so God is just kind of going with the flow, right? He doesn't want to, upset the boat. He doesn't want to, like, because it would be too disruptive to immediately get rid of slavery during that time just because it's so part of that society. So on one side of their mouth, they're saying, "Oh, we have objective morality," and on the other side, it's like, "Well, no, you have to be sensitive to the culture." It's like going into complete moral relativism right there.
Which one is it? Again,
Yeah,
every time.
Moses and his men did kill everyone except the virgins. Yeah, there are different massacres. In some massacres, they would take captives as slaves, and in other massacres, they'll slaughter every man, woman, child, and animals, livestock. So I don't know what the animals did. Maybe they were gay animals. I don't know, but
Just God,
they apparently.
or maybe God just on his period.
Yeah,
Oh, oh,
God
it's a she
was.
now.
Why
Wow.
not? You don't know
Oh,
what it
well,
is.
come on. God can be anything he, she, it wants. I mean, God can make a donkey talk, for God's sakes. So,
But God is definitely a he, and you just go, what um, defines God as a he? Does he have a penis and testicles and um,
of course, he
a
has like
Y
a big.
chromosome?
Come on, he has a big dick. He has a biggest dick, and that's why you have to worship him.
I mean, how else would proteins end up on the asteroid Beano? Obviously, God had to jerk off in order for them to get there. How
True.
else would they get there?
That makes sense.
God wanted them barbecued. All right, so enough of that. I think we can just go to the main topic of discussion, which is, and I'll have to go find the comment. So
The
the
8 or 9 points.
yes, because basically Nepi, him having debunked atheism 50 years ago, and for the last 12 or 13 years, yeah. So let's see. For what Craig is saying, I'm saying this as a Christian. If God going with the flow, then he's not very powerful and a real nasty God. Then if that's the case, Nepi and his lot couldn't respond to that. I mean, so I sympathize with you, Craig, for being a Christian and having to sort of defend this in a way, right? I mean, I think for you're kind of in a better position because you're not literalist, and you're not trying to say everything in the Bible is true, literally true. So and also I don't think you're taking the position that God is what's the foundation of your morality, or that God is giving you some objective morality that you have some access to. So it's a little bit better, but yeah, you still have to accept what's in, especially in the Old Testament, and in the New Testament, you have to accept some of the misogyny and also the anti gay stuff that's in there. That's primarily coming from Paul. So if you are, going to be, more on the Pauline doctrine, and you accept all the stuff that he says about, gays and women and all that, it's a tough position to take. God's for sure a man, as a woman would not mess things up this badly. I do think that is the case.
All right,
And
we'll go with that.
yeah, because I think generally, cultures that have female gods are a little bit better. I mean, I haven't done like a complete survey on it, but I think patriarchal god are a little bit rougher.
Aphrodite was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
yeah.
What's not to love about love? If the Bible isn't taken literally, it's no longer the perfect, infallible word of an objective standard. Yeah, I mean, you can still believe in God, and I think you don't have to accept that the Bible is a literal, infallible word of God.
But that's what the Bible says. That's the point. That's
Yeah,
where the circular fallacy comes from.
yeah. I mean, that is it's a hard position to take if you want to say the Bible is literally true because it contradicts itself in so many places, and then you have to kind of start doing kind of mental gymnastics to say that no, when the Gospels give different conflicting accounts of the Jesus story, that they all still make sense. It's a hard position to take.
I understand that, but that's the conundrum, isn't it? The Bible is supposed to be the infallible word of an objective standard. So it's the true, absolute, no bars hold, take it as it is, word of God,
Well,
written in three different languages.
not every Christian take that position. I only
Exactly. And that's the
really
problem
accept
because
what
that's what
Christ
the
says,
Bible
not Paul.
says.
And that's why we get so many different denominations.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So it's not infallible, it's not objective, whatever. It's just a book that it's no better than Harry Potter at this
Well,
point.
actually,
Like,
it's a choose your own adventure book.
yes, yeah, yes, it's a goosebumps. Choose your own adventure.
Yeah, because yeah, basically whatever your bigotry is, you just choose that one, and then go and find yourself a church that holds to that particular degree of bigotry.
Well, I mean, the issue is that the Bible is not univocal, right? Because it is
Ah, but
written by
the,
a lot of
they
people over
claim it
time.
is.
And they try to, but it's clear that it's not, right? I mean, you have multiple versions of the same stories, not just in the New Testament, but also in the Old Testament. The story of King David, you have it in Kings and Samuel, and they're different. They're not the same. So, and that's where a lot of conflicts, as well as inaccuracies, right? That makes it really hard to say that it's written by God. You can say that it was inspired by God, written by infallible men, and that gives you a little bit of latitude. But still, the issue is like when you start cherry picking, and also when you say the whole thing is not literal, and there's some that are metaphorical or an allegory and all that. The issue really is going to be where you have to kind of make a subjective decision of what is metaphor and what is literally true, and that also puts you in kind of a difficult position as well.
Yeah, well, that then just basically means you're choosing your own adventure. You just go, well, I don't like
Yeah.
the slavery stuff, so that's kind of metaphor, and clearly the magical flood was just a metaphor, and the Garden of Eden was just a metaphor. But and Revelation, we'll just call that all a metaphor. But the gay stuff was definitely not a metaphor. That one's literal. That's what I decided to do.
Um, so Craig, I mean, I think not a lot of Christians would admit that the Bible conflicts. And I think even when they know that it's the case, they wouldn't admit it, right? They'll just say that I just don't understand it, or I don't understand the context, etc. So I think it's a very small minority of Christians who would admit that the Bible does conflict. And Craig says, I just take it that the original writers were using God as an excuse for poor poor morals, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
that's
and in,
not.
yeah,
But
go ahead.
that's in the Old Testament. Sorry, in the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain. So they're
I don't get
using
it.
God as an excuse. They're taking the Lord's name in vain.
I think
I've
taking
heard
the
that.
Lord's name
I've
in
heard that
vain means
interpretation.
something else.
No, I understand that, but I've heard that interpretation recently, and I just wanted to pass it along you guys, see if you were to think about it.
Ah. I mean, I had to think about that one, but
Like, in the name of God, I shall slaughter your children. That would be taking the Lord's name in vain,
Oh yeah,
if you
okay,
know what I
that's right.
mean.
Yeah, I get what you're saying now. I got you.
Yeah. Then they have to provide an objective standard to differentiate between literal what isn't, and of course thousands of denominations, each claiming their subjective interpretation. Um, so I mean, I used to be a Christian in the sense that and I've attended church regularly and all that, um, and what I see is that a lot of people, especially in the region where I live, there are a lot of churches. I mean, like within like a relatively small area, you'll have a lot of churches. Um,
They wouldn't be around
and
here.
and what I find is that people find a church that matches their beliefs, right? Their existing beliefs, and
The social
and
bubble
not
that they
just
were
from a
raised in that agrees with them.
yeah, not just from a theology point of view, right? But also from societal culture point of view. Things like whether they're conservative or not, or whether they accept gay marriage or not. Those are you can choose the church that matches kind of your own existing view. So I don't think people generally go to church and get convinced to change their views because of the church. So if let's say that you go to some church that you like because, I don't know, they have a good music in their service, and then when they start getting all liberal and you're conservative, you're like, oh, this church sucks. They're taking God's name in vain or whatever, right? They'll make some excuse, and they'll find one that matches them. They don't go and listen to that and think, you know what, I'm wrong. I'm wrong in being homophobic or being against trans people. The Christian message says to love everyone, and so I need to learn to accept different people. That rarely happens, I think. I don't want to say never happens, but I would say rarely happens. To say it doesn't conflict, meaning the Bible having conflicts, is being dishonest with oneself and doesn't do your mental health any good. Agreed. But like I said, not everyone, I think, are honest enough with themselves to make that admission. Tuna says, I think it's odd that a God says that his name is God and Lord. Those are titles. He never states his name. Well, I mean, I think Yahweh and sometimes like El, although like El can be also
Harold.
a title.
Everyone knows his name's Harold.
I thought
Wait,
it
I
was
thought it was
scary.
Bob.
I thought it was scary.
No. Harold be thy
Wait,
name.
no. Are you sure it's
Oh.
not Pirate? Maybe it's Pirate John.
Nah. Sorry, but I can't imagine that one. No matter how
And that's
hard
what
I
the H stands for in Jesus H. Christ.
think. Oh, that's true.
Harold
I
be thy
was
name.
raised Orthodox in post-USSR Russia and moved to Canada and went to a Catholic school. You could have just said that, Serge. Actually, maybe we lost him.
You might have.
In my neighborhood, there's a block with 4 separate churches.
I am not surprised. I mean, I live in a little small rural town. We got one big giant Catholic church. If you go like 5 miles out, 3 to 5 miles in any direction, you'll hit at least 2 other churches. They're all over the place.
Okay.
There's a church
It was
around the corner
honestly
from my
water and
place. There's a church around the corner from my place that's literally as big as a bedroom. It's the tiniest church you'll ever see.
Oh,
There's a tiny little white building.
wow.
It's so cute.
It's cute.
I mean, when I was raised Orthodox, it was strictly in the household because the public school is completely secular, so keep your religion to yourself, right? And then I went to Catholic school, and it was just everywhere, and I'm like, what the fuck? Seriously, I was not raised under this type of Christianity. You people are insane.
All right. And I think most of the people that are on here watching this came on here because they wanted to see that proof of God that Nepi has provided us. So let us.
This is all
get
big filler.
right.
Let's get to the main course.
That's right. Because everyone wants to have that proof of God. And this is apparently the proof that debunked atheism 50 years ago, and
Yeah,
because
that's why there's
atheism
no
was
atheists today.
yeah, there's no atheists, and that's why Nepi has been online in the comments for 13 plus years because atheism no longer exists. So yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, I guess someone challenged him to say, give a proof of God without using God of the gaps fallacy. And let's see if he succeeds. He says it's easy. All he has to do is present what we know, and what we know debunks every facet of your atheist cult. I'm in New York City. There are literally 24 PRSO church within a kilometer of me and two mosques. 24. What is PRSO? Person?
Just,
No?
I don't know, just a typo. Just 24 churches within a kilometer.
Okay. Within a kilometer is a lot, and also New York City is pretty dense anyway. So.
And what person in New York City uses kilometers? I'm finding your story very good. Finding it fishy there, Mr. Albania Henry Franklin.
Yeah, I don't think he's in New York City.
Yeah, he's probably just me.
I did live in New York City for several years while attending grad school, and I love being there. I used to live in an apartment in the Village for a couple years, and then in Brooklyn for a couple years. So loved New York City.
No sleep till Brooklyn.
What is it? And I love going to Zabar's and getting a knish for lunch, for my lunch. All right, so the proof. Okay, so he's going to debunk atheism. So number one, let's see how good this is. We know that an uncaused intelligent first cause is the best logical explanation for the existence of this world. So that's not a proof of anything. It's just a claim. And in fact,
and it's also starting from the answer.
Yes.
Begging the question like a mother.
And who's we?
Yeah. So whenever he says we know, it probably it doesn't mean we.
Was he the fucking board?
My trip to Rome seriously opened my eyes to where all the collection plate goes. I have never seen a wealthy church was crazy spend long enough in Vatican City, and you will see what I mean. Yeah.
That's not surprising given how,
And by the way, Nepi doesn't think Catholics are real Christians. So.
Oh, yes. Oh, and I had a debate with a Catholic a few weeks back. So,
Yeah. And of course, Catholics think that only the Catholic Church is real.
When everyone else are splitters.
Yeah. So first one is just a claim, right? This uncaused intelligent first cause. First cause basically you're just defining God into existence. You're just saying that there is some quote unquote first cause, despite not being able to even demonstrate that our world had a beginning. So that is stupid, and it's just
defining it as intelligent. You go, why?
Yeah. How does he know, right? And we know that atheism desperately clings to bottom-up production, and whenever he talks about bottom-up, I get a little concerned about what he's really talking about. Bottom-up production, where life, intelligence, love, consciousness, and morality spontaneously emerge from a source that doesn't have these attributes to give, nor the means or purpose to give them. Because apparently things with those properties have to somehow give those properties. I don't know. I guess like
the
when a
keyword is
zygote.
spontaneous.
Yeah, well, it means that oxygen should have the inherent property of wetness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should come with wetness. How would water become wet if oxygen wasn't wet to start with?
or even just an individual water molecule must have
Yeah.
some property of wetness.
Yeah.
Otherwise, how could a cup of water have wetness?
Yeah, and a sodium atom has to taste salty, or otherwise it would. Because where can the saltiness come from? And you
Yeah,
go,
so I would recommend even to Neppy, don't like take a bite of a sodium, block of sodium. You will not
it's
have
going to go
good.
badly. Yeah.
Ah.
That
Yeah.
being said, I do like the taste of protons. They're quite nice.
Blue raspberry. Ooh.
No, protons. That's the
Protons.
flavor of sourness.
Oh, okay.
Literally,
I did not
sour
know this.
is an acid, and
Oh,
acid is a hydrogen ion.
that's
And
true. That's right.
which is a hydrogen atom that's lost its electron. So it is literally a proton
I forgot
that
that
we're
because
tasting.
it's so long since I've done chemistry. I forgot that little tidbit.
Yeah. So yeah, the taste of sour is us tasting raw protons. Yummy, some subatomic particles.
All right, for number 2, so spontaneously emerge from a source that doesn't have these attributes to give, nor means or purpose to give them. The religious cult of atheism is pure fantasy of the lost and clueless. So it's not atheism, because he's talking about, I guess, evolution, right? So whenever he talks about atheism in this way, he's really just conflating science, right? This is not some entailment of atheism to say that life, intelligence, love, consciousness, and morality evolved, right? And all those things evolved. And if you take a zygote that has none of these except life, you can say, which is kind of silly, right? But it doesn't have intelligence, it doesn't have love, it doesn't have consciousness, it doesn't have morality.
Would you
But that
consider the
zygote,
term proto-life?
But there's
well, I mean,
there's a
it
more
is life.
fundamental problem with 2. Let's just say you're back in England when the first pelt of an echidna, not an echidna, platypus turns up, and someone says, "No, it's real," and go, "Well, prove it's real." You go, "Well, all right. Well, it does it. Here's the pelt of the thing. Also, we know that beavers exist." And they're a thing, and you just go, well, that's not helping at all. It's got nothing to do with the thing that you're looking at. The existence of atheism has nothing to do with whether God exists or not. So you can crap on about that all he likes. It's not getting you any closer. It's talking about a completely irrelevant topic.
Well,
And the
that's
next
what
one
he
looks like
does.
it's got it as well.
Yeah.
You just go,
And
I'm going to prove God by talking about something that's got nothing to do with God.
Yeah. And a lot of it is just him kind of demonstrating his science illiteracy and conflating science and atheism to say that, oh, I'm going to debunk atheism by demonstrating my ignorance of science. I mean, that's what a lot of these is. And so number 2 is similar. And if we talk about, and by the way, when he talks about the religious cult of atheism is pure fantasy, and Tunaman says, I have a fantasy purifier at home. It purifies my fantasies.
Where'd you get yours?
Because you want to have pure fantasy. You don't want to have impure, adulterated fantasies.
Oh, I don't know. I thought they were the best kind.
Oh yeah.
But
That's
fantasizing about ham sandwiches, that's not pure. That is not pure. At the least, bacteria is evidence we evolved. So if we were to use the argument for theistic evolution, then at least he recognizes scientific research. No, he doesn't.
Nope.
Not really.
No.
Research.
He always claims that it's impossible for information to accumulate. The only thing that can happen is that you lose information over time, and therefore you devolve. That's it's impossible.
And my favorite argument that he makes, like when I said, well, was there new information created when Shakespeare created or wrote his plays, or allegedly wrote his plays? And Nepi's response was no, no new information when Macbeth was written because alphabets existed. So it's not new information, just rearrangement of alphabets. So, and
Well,
of course, where
what
did
about
the
when the
alphabets
alphabet
come
was
from?
invented? Yeah, it looks
No,
like,
there were
okay,
existing
so,
characters that led to the alphabet.
and where
So
did those come
nothing
from?
Nepi has so
You just
nothing
go
Nepi has
back
written is new information.
at some point, there was a creature that didn't have an alphabet.
No, Adam and Eve, they came up with the alphabet, or maybe God created the alphabet. I don't know. Okay, so number 3, we know that atheism only has theories. And he lists out science, the Big Bang, abiogenesis, evolution, primordial soup, which is not like a separate thing, natural causes, which isn't like a scientific theory.
No, it's not.
So atheism only has theories that can't be demonstrated in real time because
Yeah,
they
like
don't
he can
exist,
demonstrate God in
can
real
exist,
time.
never will exist. So first of all, no, those are not atheist theories, right? Atheism doesn't say, "Oh, Big Bang." Atheism doesn't say abiogenesis. It's not like when atheism, let's say in the Greek times, when there were people who didn't believe in the Greek gods, it didn't like somehow create a theory of the Big Bang or abiogenesis or anything like
No,
that.
but it was a Christian who
Oh,
came up
that's
with the
right.
concept of the
Christian
Big
came
Bang.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the atheist theory of the Big Bang that came from a Christian. What now?
Yeah, so Nepi blames George Lemaitre. What was it? Lemaitre.
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 Lemaitre, that's right.
Lemaitre,
Lemaitre.
yeah.
Lemaitre.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, blame him.
so to say that these things, Big Bang, abiogenesis, evolution, let's just stop there, can't be demonstrated in real time, it's just silly, right? Because we have them because they can be demonstrated in real time. We can see in
Well,
real time
you don't
the
need to
cosmic
demonstrate
microwave
something in
background.
real time, though. You don't need to demonstrate things in real time for them to be demonstrated. If that was the case, no murderer would ever get convicted because you can't demonstrate in real time that he was a murderer. You have to demonstrate based upon, some
but
pieces
you
of
would
information
have,
you have.
yeah, but you would have evidence that you can show in real time, like in court.
Yeah,
You can
well,
say, "Here's a
you've got,
gun."
yeah, but that's exactly what all of the evidence that we have for all of these things are. We have stuff you can show in court. There's no difference between a blood spatter pattern and the CMBR.
Yeah,
They're
so I
both
guess that
evidence of an event that occurred in the past.
yeah, and I think that goes to the point where for Nepi, he conflates what it means to demonstrate something in real time, because he doesn't mean showing in real time or like actual current evidence, things like the CMBR.
No, he wants to see the evolution. He wants to see a rabbit.
He wants to see the Big
get
Bang
born.
happen. He
And he
wants
wants
to
to see a
show.
rabbit
Yeah,
be born from a thing that wasn't a rabbit.
yeah. But he wants you to go in the lab and have you create the universe via the Big Bang. Because he thinks that the universe was created, or he thinks that science says that the universe was created through the Big Bang, which is wrong. But
What are
he
you,
wants you.
fucking Rick Sanchez? You
So
created a
Rick
universe and
Sanchez
just get a battery?
would demonstrate in real time. All right, so we
But
did
then
number 3. So let's go to number 3. Oh, wait a minute. Nepi can't count.
The irony also being that if you demonstrated it in real time and created a new Big Bang, he would say, that's proof that God did it. Because it took an intelligence to create the Big Bang.
That's right.
Yeah. It's the heads you lose, tails I win.
Oh, I do want to address this. Yes, he confuses theory with hypothesis because he doesn't know what a scientific theory is. He conflates it with hypothesis. So he thinks.
I don't think
No,
that's
I
true.
think so.
I think he knows damn well all the things he says are lies, and he just keeps saying them because
Mm, no, come on.
he doesn't care. He
He's also
knows he's a
stupid,
liar.
but he's also stupid.
He's
He's not
a
just
person
a
who has
liar.
no problem with lying and defraud. That's why he's been to jail twice for
No,
fraud.
that can't be right
Because
because the Bible says that you shouldn't lie. So how could a
yeah,
Christian like Nepi lie?
yeah, all the
I can't
time.
believe
The
that. I
ultimate
can't believe that.
contradiction.
Yeah, that would be a
Yeah,
contradiction
a bit of
because
a
he's a moral
contradiction.
person. He couldn't be a liar, right?
Yeah.
Don't burst my bubbles, guys. Anyway, since we did number 3, let's do number 3 because in Nepi's world, 3 comes after 3. So number 3, actually, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we know that for 100 years, atheists believed in primordial soup. So again, atheism doesn't entail a specific model of abiogenesis. That's science. Science has different models of abiogenesis. In fact, Christianity has a model of abiogenesis. It's Genesis 2:7. It says that basically abiotic matter, which in this case is dry dust, became a living thing, a human being, an adult. It became a semi-intelligent human being named Adam. So, so they have their own abiogenesis, but
Oh.
atheism doesn't have a model of abiogenesis. So, well, you're right, stupid and a liar. Because why not both, right? I mean, I think that's more likely.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
that is
Waiter,
100% true.
there's a hair in my primordial soup. You have to take this universe back and give me a new universe.
Isn't that
Has
what they want?
anyone heard? Has anyone heard this like kind of a jokey hypothesis that the ocean is a soup?
Ocean is what?
The ocean is soup.
Oh, Yoshi
Oh,
soup.
soup.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard someone say
I've
that.
heard them use various versions of that somewhere, somehow.
Yeah,
It's a pretty thin soup, but it does contain protein.
yep. It's actually rock soup because it's full of rocks,
Yeah.
or parts of rocks, I should say, in a very,
It has
very low
bedrock.
concentration.
Oh, I don't know. Salt forms rocks, and there is a absolute shizer load of salt in the ocean. I make brine shrimp, and the amount of salt you need to put into a small amount of liquid is ridiculous.
Let's just discuss a little bit this thing that Nepi says a lot, that a rock came from a bang, got wet, and produced all these things. So I think what he's saying is that from the Big Bang, we got this rock, which is a stand-in for him for abiogenesis. So from Big Bang to abiogenesis, got wet, and rock getting wet basically is his idea of what he thinks abiogenesis is, and produced, and then these are things that come from evolution. So basically, he just like conflates all three things together, and he thinks it's just like one model, one theory, and that's a straw man that he creates of what he thinks atheism is. And again, atheism is none of this. Atheism is not the science. Atheism is not cosmology. It's not the theory of or the model of abiogenesis, and it's not the evolutionary model. So it's none of those. There's me thinking atheists tested everything before making claims of believing in a soup. Tested or tasted?
Either way works. Think about it.
Nepi's head seemed full of rocks.
There's nothing
Moist
up
rock.
there.
They're very moist rock.
You're actually being generous with that, Craig.
Yeah, I mean the thing is like for him it's dry rocks, right? He doesn't like wet rocks. Um, yeah. So
No, they're
and the other thing
moist.
to note is I know Nepi loves saying this primordial soup thing. Um, that model of abiogenesis is relatively old, and I think for the most part, it doesn't match what the various different current rotting candidates for abiogenesis. So he's like way behind. But then he also says things like Darwinism. So
He's still.
um,
We're living in a time of high speed vehicles. He still lives in the horse drawn carriage era.
yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry. That's just
And
me.
I'm not going to waste too much time going over these different points
Yeah.
of where he just can't understand. I mean, just his kind of personal incredulity of, how a cell could evolve, like the Luca cell could evolve into a complex animal. DNA
Let's not forget
blueprints.
though that 9 million different animals on Earth mean there are 18 million animals on the Ark in a
Yeah,
wooden boat, and the 300,000 different plants on Earth must have been able to survive being buried under 9 kilometers of water of salty water for a year
Yeah.
somehow.
I don't know, and maybe there are people who say this, but you could make an argument for Noah's Ark and say that no, he didn't actually take like physically, two animals of each kind, but essentially he took the DNA blueprints, right, for every species that existed, and so on the Ark it was just like full of just DNA samples, right? That was used to repopulate the Earth.
Yeah, in what sort of womb?
So the thing is, like, when you get to that kind of point where, I mean, like, just the idea of the global flood and how where the water came from and all the kind of, the physical issues of having this global flood, if you're going to explain that away with God being able to do anything, you might as well just, go hog wild and just
Yeah, just
say,
magic it. Yeah.
yeah, just magic it, right? So you just like, instantly just get all these like cells of every different species, and then after the flood, just basically, create animals, full-grown animals, directly from those cells, right? Just clone them. Doesn't Nepi know that 99% of all species are extinct now? I don't know if he knows that. His figures are only for those living now. He can't grasp the vast timeline. Well, I mean, it's only 4,000 years. 4,000 years isn't that vast, right? That's how long, all species have been, right? They're only 4,000 years old. Am I wrong? Okay. And his commentary here, right, that this is just pathetic. The religion of how pathetic the religion of atheism is. Again, atheism has nothing to do with those sciences, and those sciences are not religion, and neither is atheism. Atheism
And
equals stone court. Yeah,
calling atheism stupid doesn't prove his God exists.
right.
It's
So
not evidence for
nothing.
his God.
Yeah, this is not just saying, oh wow, atheism. That is not actually any proof of God. You could, I guess theoretically, if you, so in order for you to debunk atheism, you would have to demonstrate your God. So just saying, atheism hurts my feelings is not sufficient. You would have to show God to demonstrate that atheism is wrong, to show that that you have personal incredulity about science. That doesn't do anything to atheism. All of science could be wrong, and that doesn't do anything to atheism. And again, just claim that's because God is very real. Atheist fools think that mindless, unguided, non-purposeful forces decided things like how many eyes a human being should have. No, that actually came from evolution. There are evidences that showed. I mean, we actually have a lot of different animals that have more than two eyes and have different types of eyes. Eyes actually co-evolved in multiple different ways.
And even our eyes are terrible.
Yeah, apparently our perfectly designed eyes still need glasses.
Yes, we do.
And
Some
they've
people
got their retinas installed backwards.
Exactly.
So it's a little bit like putting the CCD panel that's in your SLR camera in backwards, and then having to run all the wiring to the panel on the front of the in between the image and the receiver, and then have to go along and do some post processing to edit out the bits in the middle there. And make you not remember that there's the giant hole in the center of the photo as well. You go, oh, yeah, alternatively, you can just put it in the right way to start with, and then you don't have the problems.
Because there are eyes that evolve that don't have that problem, that don't
Yeah,
have all
all
those
the
problems.
cephalopod eyes.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't think Neppy hate watches us, unlike some of the other hate watchers. But if he is, uh, Tuna Man points out Neppy's copy paste needs a spell check. His source is Soure. Yeah. Also, I
Sure.
think his copy paste needs a little thinking because atheism is not science. Neppy, if you're listening. Like it or not, life, intelligence, love, consciousness, and morality can only come from a source that has these attributes. But does God have life? Does
Not according
it
to any definition of
respire?
life.
Yeah. Does God
What's he
reproduce?
eat?
Does God, metabolize, respire? What, At least that's our definition of life.
In
And
that case, it's either going to be a deity or infinite regress. So then life comes from previous life, life comes previous life, and so on and so forth. Like we all know that Florida BJ did that. So at this point, it's like either a special pleading conscious agent did it, or it's always existed in some form previously. Which one is it?
all right. So we did 3, and then we did 3. So after 3 comes 4. We know that there is no such thing as a natural cause. We do. Seriously? How could you say that there's no such thing as a natural cause? You're just going to say that there is no natural cause for anything? I mean, that's just, oh my God. No part of matter nature, e.g., stardust, moist rocks, mud puddles, hot rocks, moon dirt, warm ponds, gravity. So, why doesn't he mention dry dust here? That's weird. Can be taken into lab and have it produce in real time any gain of complexity or something new. Atheism debunked. So he will continue to evade the call for you to take some dry dust into the lab and have God breathe on it and have it become a man.
You need to take to a
Because
lab. It says, put some dirt in your hand, hold it up to the sky, and say, "Hey, give it life."
yeah, and yes. So I mean, I mentioned it in passing, but things like intelligence, love, consciousness, and morality, yeah, they are a product of evolution, and we know, for example, that there are animals that have, a form of morality, a type of morality, and type of other animals have consciousness. They have, what can be considered love. In fact, some of our research into love, mediated by oxytocin, was done on animal studies. I think it's like prairie dogs or something, where they showed that the feelings of love, or the, I guess, conception of love, can be mediated by those chemicals. So yes, they did. I would agree that they came about by evolution. So yeah, this idea of that you have to somehow be able to take this into a lab and have it produce gain of complexity. I mean, that again is sort of nonsensical.
Yeah.
All right, 5. We know that one has to believe in the lies of atheism because, I guess his idea is like you have to believe, right? that none of them can be demonstrated in real time. This is kind of a repeat of the other one.
Yeah.
Doctrines of demons. What? First of all, multiverse is just kind of. I mean, that's more of a hypothesis. It's a way to kind of, I guess, a type of model of how things could be. So, but no, I mean, it's not like science has demonstrated that a multiverse actually exists. I don't think. I mean, it's
there's a
more
whole
kind
bunch of hypotheses and
yeah,
out there, but
and like mathematical. Some of it is just kind of the mathematical results of some of the models that we have. Like string theory, but like string theory hasn't been proven. And so Big Bang, abiogenesis and anatomy, differing from ancestry, evolution, primordial soup, gain of information, gain of complexity. I mean, what is this doctrine of demons? Like, atheism does not believe in demons, my guy. Only true nature can be demonstrated in real time. So he repeats this a lot, but for some reason he thinks like a flower blooming, like photosynthesis, digestion, respiration, gravity. Like, why is that different, right? So sunshine. I mean, it's just like this hodgepodge of different things that he considers to be quote unquote
it's
true nature.
It's all simplistic things that could easily be proven.
I mean, it's just a demonstration of his kind of science illiteracy and just the way he just categorizes these kind of nonsensical things together. All right. 5 is 6. So far, he's only made one mathematical error up to 6. So he can sort of count. Okay, 6. We know that evidence against your atheist cult is easy. Evident. Okay, you're dying.
Do you want me to pull up the stat?
Atheism is wrong because people die. All right. There's never a moment where you're not dying, decaying in disorder, and aging towards death. So death doesn't disprove atheism. In fact, if people didn't die, that would be a proof of a God. That somehow human beings, like let's say every other organisms die, but human beings don't. That would actually, would be hard to explain with science. I remember. So I think Nepi's the one who claims that there's no physical change upon death. So he could like dunk himself in water for like, let's say an hour, and there'd be no physical change, and he wouldn't die, according to him. It would only be if, for some reason, his soul kind of gets tired of being in the water and wants to leave, then he would die. But otherwise, it's not physical death, according to him. Tuna, I'm beginning to think he's lost his mind if he's saying that scientific stuff is demonic. I do think he has some kind of dementia. And I've made this post before where he constantly says that, oh, I've owned you, I've beaten you and all that. It seems like it's some sort of dementia where he's kind of regressed to being a toddler, and he thinks that he's won, right? Despite just being ridiculed and ripped and destroyed in the comments, he thinks he's winning. I do think that it's, I mean, and he's pretty old now, so I guess if he actually came on and talked to us, we would better tell. We'd be better able to figure out if he does have dementia or not. But at least based on the comments, it does seem like he has dementia. You can't own anything once you claim everything comes from nothing.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So apparently, because things die, atheism is false. So again, not a very good proof. Everything is going in one direction. Yes. A bad to worse. So things can't ever get better.
In fact, Craig just posted in the chat. That's called atrophy? No, I mean, yeah, well, it's atrophy, but What's the other word
No,
for
it's not. Oh, sorry, I'm blanking out. It's called
entropy? Entropy.
entropy. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I think like it like got my mind stuck when he said atrophy because it's kind of close enough
It's
to
close. It's
entropy.
close. It actually works, and if you in some definition, but he's
Yeah,
actually
it
going for
is.
entropy.
Yeah, in a way is um, it is in a way sort of atrophy, but everything only going in one direction. Yeah, it's called entropy. And by the way, we don't know that we can't have that reverse, right? In the cyclic model of cosmology,
Yeah.
yeah, at some point it could get back to where you have a lower entropy. So yeah, things. I guess in his life, things have always gotten from bad to worse. Like he gets sent to prison. Okay, that's pretty bad. And then he gets sent to prison the second time. Yeah, it got worse. So I can see why he might have that
And
attitude.
most likely his life is destroyed after the fact. So
Yeah. Okay, 7. Again, now we're in a really good role here where we are actually being sequential in our numbering.
finally,
A red-faced debater named Nepi tried arguing science was sketchy. He shouted his lies with a spit in his cries, then asked, "What the hell entropy be?" The last one was a little bit awkward, but yeah, that's pretty good. We know that being that this world is dying, losing content, exhausting usable energy, and had a beginning requiring a beginner. He's made this thing before, right? You need a beginner. Apparently, God is just a beginner. Why can't we have a more of an intermediate God, not a beginner God, or an advanced God? I mean, come on. We have to live with a beginner God. It's then required to have a non-dying cause, creator, designer, producer that is timeless, spaceless, immanent. So again, all these up until now has just been claims, right? Claims that he's been making.
yeah.
And when
Hasn't
he says,
anyone,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry, hasn't anyone realized by now that time less, space less, whatever less just means they don't have it?
It doesn't exist.
As in, when you're timeless, you don't exist in time.
Yeah.
When you're spaceless, you don't exist in space. So at this point, you don't exist in objective reality because we have the 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time, and whatever 20 other dimensions in the quantum realm or whatever. But at this point, like if you're less of something, you don't have it.
Well, I mean, I think you can make an argument that somehow God is in a different dimension, right? That we are just kind of like within a separate universe where we're just kind of an object, right? Where
We
let's
are
say he's in
under
a
a disk under a dome, right?
yeah. Oh, that's true.
Like one of
So
those old.
we're in a snow globe.
Exactly. That's what I was about
Yeah.
to say. You took me.
Yeah. So I mean, the analogy is like we could be, for example, our time is basically like, let's say, a movie, right, where it has a beginning and an end. But within the dimension outside of that movie, time is different, everything is different, and you can go to any point in the within that movie. So if that's the case, right, God is timeless within our time. So if something bad happened, for example, let's say that you're within that movie in the beginning, uh, you have a creation that, like, let's say, ate a fruit and you didn't like it. He could just go and re-edit that, right? He doesn't have to follow that movie. So, or he could have created a movie where, your creations don't eat this fruit that, you don't want them to eat. So you could create that version. So if you're saying God is outside of time and space, and we're just kind of like an analogous to a movie within that, it doesn't explain why we are in this movie where God has to torture you for an eternity for not believing in your story. Anyway, let's keep going because I think we're only halfway through, and we'll have to
That
kind
long? Gee.
yeah, because Oh no, is it? Oh no,
Yeah.
sorry. I thought he had more, but
Yeah.
okay, we're almost at the end. All right, that's good. We know that being this world is dying, losing content, exhausting energy, had a beginning. It's then required that. Oh no, did we already do this?
Yes,
Oh
we
yeah,
did
yeah,
that.
we did. So I just want to say we call that entity our infinite, eternal, supernatural God. So that's basically defining a God into existence, right?
He,
To say that, oh, we need to have this some that because our universe has entropy, therefore we need something has to be outside of that, and whatever is outside of it, we'll say is God, right? You're just defining God into existence.
yeah.
All right. So the last one, we know that God is the creator. Again, this is supposed to be the proof, right? It's not supposed to be you just reiterating the conclusion. But unfortunately, that's what he does. Number 8, he just reiterates the conclusion. We know that God is a creator. Therefore, creation answers to God. God doesn't answer to creation. We can't compare anything to God because it came out of God to begin with. So
And nothing
so
you.
none of these are proofs, right? They're all just claims, and the last one is like the worst because it's just, begging the question. How do you prove that God, exists? We know that God is a creator. I mean, that's not a good argument, and that's obviously not a proof. It's not evidence. It's nothing. And again, saying this thing like, we can't compare anything to God because we came out of God. I mean, first of all, begging the question, but secondly, it hints at this, divine command theory where all the atrocities that's in the Bible that God commits is okay because we came out of God. God can do anything to you because He created you. That's what He's saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Summary, you can remain dumb. So, Nepi, just because you are dumb doesn't mean you can just say people can remain dumb. Undone, dying, and on your way to hell. And how does he know we're going to hell? Apparently, he's God. Uh, so I was going to say that as well. So everything is God's crap. We came out of God. God just like pooped us out, and therefore God can do anything.
That's what he. I guess that's what he thinks of us.
Well, I mean, it makes me think, does Neppy play with his poop?
Well, I'm not going to make a comment on that one.
All right. So Sam and does anyone know what Sarah just talking about? Sam and Dean
Supernatural.
Winchester. That's right. Must necessarily be running around USA until they beat the shit out of Yahweh. Yeah, because when you beat the shit out of Yahweh, that's when creation happens.
You beat it out of it. Okay, that makes sense.
So is he saying it's impossible to find meaning in life without God? Yes,
Yes.
he is saying that. If that's so, I know many atheists who find meaning without God. Yeah, I mean, human beings can find meaning, and
Yeah.
they have found meaning, even before there was Christianity.
I
So,
mean,
uh,
we can find meaning in
yeah.
our families, our friendships, our our desires, good or bad. However you look at it. But yeah, there is ways to find things outside of God to give your life meaning. Just because you think there's a God means shit.
Well, I think that for religious people, for theists, um, when they find, I think, or you can take this attitude that what they mean by not necessarily that they find that God is giving them meaning, but that God is giving import to their meaning. Meaning,
Okay.
right? So,
Yeah.
so when they value their family or value friendship, it actually has substance because they can say that God is behind it, right? God is validating their purpose.
It's
So
almost.
I think what they're finding is not necessarily that they're finding meaning in life through God, but they're finding value in their meaning that they
That's okay. Yeah, I
found with
just,
God.
yeah.
I would say just from to kind of steelman the
Yeah, I
theist
agree. I
position.
agree. I agree. I agree.
Yeah, and part of it, and the reason why I say that is because when when people say that they find meaning in God, um, they don't have access to God, right? God is not somehow reaching out and telling, giving them a list of things. Here's what your purpose in life is.
Yeah,
Um,
that
you don't have someone telling you your purpose in life is to pass butter. That would actually be very demoralizing, right? If God said that, God actually came and said your purpose in life is to pass butter,
and I think
or
and that's what I
or
was
to
trying to.
say that your purpose in life is for you to worship me.
And I
I mean,
think
I think that would just be a very meaningless life to have.
yeah,
That you're living here just so that you can, lick the, boots of, or something worse
yeah, and that's what I was
of
trying.
some entity.
That's what I was trying to get at. You know, it's just the fact that I get what you're trying when you were steel manning, but when you're saying that we just got to do, we're just here because we got a certain purpose. That means nothing because we don't even know the purpose. That's why we got to find purpose.
Yeah, and even within the Bible, I guess there's some people who say that the Bible says that our purpose in life is to give glory to God. I guess some people do think that that's what their purpose is. But imagine if that really is your purpose, right? If all you
How
have,
pathetic is that?
yeah,
Yeah.
Like, oh, let's go and create some ants because I've got such a thin ego that their purpose is to all line up around the top of their ant mound and go, oh, you're so great. We love you.
Yeah.
just imagine like
Yeah.
in your backyard, there's a mound of ants, and those ants somehow took you as God and created little, like statues of you, or they're like worshiping you, and you wouldn't even know, right? Or even if you like looked, you see ants scurrying around, and you have no idea that they're even considering you. Uh, I mean, like for if that's the case, right, where the relationship between a god and humans is like ants and humans, for God, you just be so insignificant that you wouldn't care, right, if these humans somehow are worshiping you. I mean, like if you thought of this, if there is kind of really a God that is omnipotent and that can do anything, that can create the universe, why would you care, of these like these primates that worship you, right? Why would you care?
Yeah. Like, what's he getting out of it? That's the whole point. Other than just an ego boost.
So Craig Kelly says that his reason for living, etc., was there before even his belief in a God. So I think that's true for a lot of people because you know as you grow up and as you become an adult, you come to some, I guess, some conclusion about what meaning that life has for you. And that can happen independent of there being a religion or not. There are a lot of people who are non-religious, so even though they may go to church and everything, they're not finding their meaning in life, from the community that they get from going to
Yeah.
church.
That what they call the cultural Christian.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I want if there's some kind of survey that can, find out with people who are, for theists and atheists, where they get their meaning, their purpose in life from. So.
Yeah, it's a tough piece of research.
Yeah, it is because
Yeah, it would be so complex because.
yeah, because there's so many different things that answers you could get from that.
Yeah, and for some people they don't necessarily think about this, right? Because they don't have to. Not everyone has to think about, like, explicitly what is the purpose in life, what is my purpose in life.
Yeah. Most people are satisfied, with the life they've got. They don't need to ask that.
I mean, for some people it's just about kind of being happy,
Yeah.
right? They just want to be happy, so it doesn't have to be some complex
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
you don't have to have a specific uh, paper on exactly what your meaning of life is. It's just whatever makes you feel good, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, damn it, but I want there to be a paper.
I can write one up. I don't know how good it'd be, but
Write it down.
okay, let me get a
I don't want
notepad.
to think for myself.
Right. I I think for people who do find meaning in God, it's almost like I feel like they will have some sense of relief,
Yeah.
because this is a hard question to wrap your mind around. And if you think, yeah, I found my answer, and my answer is, whatever God says it is, or just to say that there must be some purpose I have. I don't even know what it is, but God knows, and I have a purpose, and therefore, I don't have to really think about it. That could be as well. So it might be for people who believe in God, it might be easier for them to kind of, figure, or at least come to some kind of understanding of what their purpose in life is.
Yeah. Sorry, I lost train of thought. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, in summary, you can remain dumb, undone, dying, etc., etc., etc. And he repeats this doctrine of demons, primordial soup. He repeats it again. None of the godless garbage exists. Try to learn. So whatever he says, try to learn what I'm teaching you. It's like, it's the worst person to say that, because he is so ignorant of the sciences, and even of the Bible. He's so ignorant of so many things. And
Don't need
for
the
him
rest of
to,
that sentence, really. You can just start with, he is so ignorant, and leave it at that.
And
Yeah.
you gotta love the threat of hell at the end of that.
And by the way, this 100
Yeah.
plus trillion years from the moment you enter hell. I mean, that's actually
Yeah.
worse, right?
Ooh, scary.
Yeah, but to think of a God that will torture you for 100 trillion years, that's longer than the life of this, or the age of this universe. That he's going to continue to torture you just because you are not gullible.
10,000 times longer than the universe has existed. You just go, yeah, God made me
And
a
why?
particular way, and then
Why?
refuses to fill in the gaps needed.
What does God get out of torturing you in hell for an eternity because you did not believe him?
What does a kid get for using
Burning,
magnifying glass on an ant?
Oh.
Yes, I agree. But I do think for some people, sorry to repeat what Craig is saying. Just a heads up, just because you believe does not always mean you get relief. It can sometimes cause more questions than it answers. Yeah, fair point. But I think for some people, they do sort of outsource their thinking via their belief. For some people, but I agree. I think for others, they do wrestle with their own faith. So I think there are people who will doubt, or who get doubt of their religious beliefs.
And also, it's also, this may not be quite on the same train of thought, but it's also people's desires versus what they believe. You know, for example, do I desire something selfish like a career with making a lot of money, or do I follow my teachings and my religion, say become a missionary and go teach underprivileged people somewhere else? It you know I mean, it's not maybe kosher to that last train of thought, but that's what I'm thinking. Uh, just a thought.
Serge, do you want to talk about the Outer Limits Sand Kings episode? I don't know if you can
Oh
talk.
yes. Sorry, give me a second. I'm just gonna remember this real quick. A scientist discovers a species of insects that have a level of consciousness. He calls them sand kings, and then he creates a society of sorts um, of sand kings. And then they develop consciousness over time, and they praise him as a deity for creating them.
Ah,
Interesting.
and that's that just lines up what we've been talking about the whole damn time.
Huh.
So a lower life form is praising a higher life form for creating their society. Um, so it's similar to a religious belief that a supreme being is necessary for creating our social dynamic.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never seen that episode. Um,
It's
but
season one, episode one of the '90s reboot.
okay.
Yeah, I never.
Because there was a Twilight Zone in the '50s.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it's kind
saw.
of a version of the Twilight Zone. I mean, I've seen like a lot of outlet outer limits. Not the. I haven't watched the outlet limits, but I've seen the outer limits. And
Sorry, man, I misspelled that. My bad.
oh, sorry, it
What's the
doesn't even
Barry?
say outlet limits. It says ute limits. It's some kind of French version.
Wu-Tang.
Um, so, but I mean, I have seen a lot of the episodes, but I don't remember that one. I must have missed that one.
I find the
Uh,
outer limits really educational when it comes to hypotheticals of how human morality could go when certain situations come to light. Uh,
I mean,
it's a really interesting series.
I mean, the Star Trek Next Generation is kind of like that as well, where they kind of explore these kind of things
Yeah.
in
Yes,
their
and the
universe.
Orville and Stargate SG-1.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
Stargate.
yeah.
Stargate is basically the entire history of mythology,
Yeah,
from
pretty much.
polytheism to monotheism,
Oh,
with the
pretty
last two
much.
seasons.
I mean, I didn't see the
And
last two
Craig
seasons, but I did. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
and Craig says some Christians also believe in the annihilation theory, in which God just destroys you, right, and makes you suffer forever. Um, yeah, I think Catholics generally believe that maybe, but it makes more sense because some Christians also say that hell is just being
Separate from
away
God.
from God, right? Where you're somehow in a place where God is not, and that is somehow hell, which is first of all bizarre because one, God is supposed to be
Everywhere.
what is the word? To be
Omnibenevolent.
no to be
Omnipresent.
present. Yeah, omnipresent, right? Yeah, so he's supposed to be omnipresent. So the idea that there would be a place or somewhere where God is not seems sort of bizarre. Uh, but secondly, it's also that supposedly, uh, if God is everywhere except this hell, then God is supposedly here, right? Is we are we're in the presence of God everywhere, yeah, on earth. So then what is heaven? If heaven is just being, within the presence of God, he should be present on earth. So
Well,
uh, earth should be heaven then, and hell is just where God isn't. So this kind of annihilation theory is better. Their theology is better because uh, you're no longer within presence of God just because you no longer exist, right? He just destroys you. And if you were some kind of omnipotent God, I would think that's a better thing to do than to for whatever reason, getting the kicks out of torturing you for 100
Yeah,
trillion
I
years.
prefer that way myself. If I'm not gonna go to heaven, just delete me entirely.
By the way, part of the annihilation theory, theology for some people, is that you do still get tortured. You just don't get tortured for an eternity, but you get tortured for some amount, and maybe for some amount that's more commensurate with your sins. But then you get, annihilated,
Yeah, there
which
is.
then
Go ahead.
kind of asks the questions like, why does he have to first torture you if he's just going to annihilate you? Sorry, go ahead,
Yeah,
Sneeble.
there is in Hinduism there is concept like that.
Yeah,
Their version of hell is called Naraka, or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, which is not infinite. You know, I
yeah,
forget.
and also I think that's a Nirvana cover band. No,
I never heard of them, but
no, I don't know. No, I'm just joking. It's
yeah,
Nirvana, right?
it would make sense though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but but I think you go through certain to read it's just like layered, like like in Dante's Inferno you have the layers of the circles
Yeah,
of hell. Naraka
yeah,
has kind of layers, and you slowly move out of it, but each layer takes you like quadrillion years to get out of, but you eventually get out of it.
yeah. Well, I that part also there. If you're really bad, you're somehow, and maybe this is a different version, but you get removed out of the karmic cycle, so you can't reincarnate.
Yeah, that too. I mean, I'm not familiar with the. It might be Buddhism. Actually, it might be Buddhism, but I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's been a while since I've read about it. But it is one of those idiot subcontinent religions that started in that
Yeah.
area. I'll have to look it up and get back with you on that.
How does an immaterial consciousness have nerve endings to feel pain? So again, to try to steelman a little bit, I think some people would say that pain isn't just, physical. So you don't have to have nerves to feel pain, and which means that God somehow has to like keep your ability to feel pain, whether it's material or not, uh, after your death. Oh, it's
It's
Buddhism.
Buddhist. Okay,
Great. Yeah.
I was off by which one, but I knew it was one of them.
Yeah. So going back to this comment, it reminds me of this, like the idea is like, uh, when God creates this world, why does He have to allow or have like when because animals have to eat each other. So let's say an antelope is getting eaten by a lion. God could just have some mechanism where that antelope no longer feels pain, right? It just cuts the nerve ending, so you don't. It doesn't go through that pain of getting eaten alive.
That would actually be the most humane thing God could do in that situation. If there has to be predators
Yeah,
and prey.
yeah. Uh, because if that's going to be just part of that, cycle of life, he could just design it so that the prey doesn't feel any pain when it's getting eaten alive. Uh, Although evolutionary, I guess it's hard to explain via evolution, but uh, I think, and I'm not 100% sure, that, when animals are, I guess you can explain this evolutionarily, when they are in that traumatic state, they may not feel pain, at least not in the same way,
I mean,
like whether it's
yeah,
adrenaline or whatever, right?
yeah,
Because I think certain prey just essentially kind of go limp, maybe not with every prey,
yeah.
uh, but I think that can be explained kind of evolutionarily where
Yeah,
you
it's
might
hard. It's hard
survive.
because I'm no biologist, so I can't, go into any with go into depth with any knowledge in particular. The best I could say is maybe the fear and all that creates so much adrenaline and other hormones that you just black out. Or you just kind of, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
Could be boredom.
What?
Well,
makes you black out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
But yeah, it is it is complicated. What you're trying to
Yeah.
say, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like something that happens to every prey animal. But I think there are some prey animal where, uh, like I said, like adrenaline and other stress hormones can essentially sort of act as a kind of anesthetic.
Yeah.
There's a fish that doesn't feel pain, and its only purpose is to swim around and get eaten.
Oh,
Really?
was it
It's
like the
somewhere in Australia.
sunfish? I think.
What is
Guess
it
it's
then?
like it swims really slowly, and it like it'll get chunks eaten out of it, and I think it doesn't
I'm
feel
not sure it's a
as much of
sunfish,
a
but
pain.
I have heard of something like that.
Well, lots of things do get chunks eaten out of them. These
Yeah.
friggin' cookie cutter sharks are just atrocious. Just one of the most ridiculous species. Apparently, God made those to go along and cut plugs of flesh out of other animals.
Yeah. And they say that
And you can explain that evolutionarily, right? Because like it may, because just like eating an animal, especially if they're a prey animal, especially if the population is limited, may be worse than just eating chunks of it and letting it keep growing.
yeah, that's a weird concept of evolution there, but it works.
Yeah,
I mean
but
that
the thing is, like all these kind of little things that we find in nature, it can be explained, naturalistically,
yeah,
with evolution, but it's very hard to explain it with creationism.
exactly.
Yeah, I think God just wanted it because
I said
reasons.
sunfish.
Okay, so what's a sunfish?
Call them
I
all.
Okay.
concede that one.
Hmm.
Ornery, probably.
Yeah, he's probably still his
Yeah.
ornery old ass, but he's around somewhere. I know he's been on the comment board, so he's still active. Maybe just not.
Yeah. I sometimes see his comments, but
Yeah,
in like actually different channels.
yeah,
I can't remember which. I think maybe it was on the John Cohen channel. I
yeah.
did
I've seen
see
a few of
his.
his on there too. In fact, I saw
Yeah.
him in one of his lives, his live Thursday night.
Oh, by the way, someone said that I can't remember. Maybe it was Albania that they thought uh, Florida had called into the line, uh, and
Really?
and when I listened to it, it wasn't Florida. It didn't sound at all like Florida, but it was someone from Florida, and I think they were making some like anti-evolution comments or something. But yeah, it wasn't Florida though. I don't think Florida would ever call into
Nah,
any of those
he has
shows.
had the balls for that one.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not a real man.
He knows he'd get absolutely frickin' demolished.
And it doesn't matter who's on the line that day. They all tear him a new one.
Yeah, but it is funny that he and we're like getting close to the end of time. But it is interesting. He and Pirate have essentially kind of run away,
Yeah.
which is good. I mean, I'm not hoping for them to come back, but it's interesting. They've kind of given up. Um,
Yeah, we'll see.
yeah, I feel like it's sort of an
Don't jinx it.
acknowledgement. Yeah, go ahead.
No, don't jinx it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I do think it's an acknowledgement of them getting, kind of destroyed here. But
Oh, lots of hate watchers now.
yeah,
Well, they just kept the wrong time because we're about to wrap up.
yep. They're all nappy in all his alt accounts. So,
Yeah, that could be possible.
so. All right. Okay. Well, this was an interesting one, and thank you, Nappy, for your idiotic comments to help us make fun of you. So keep at it.
Yay.
Keep at it. But anyway, thank you, everyone, Tuna, Craig, and Albania, if you're still there, and Aaron, if you're still listening. Thanks for being on, and thanks, everyone, for coming on the panel. Steve, I'm glad you were able to make it today.
I might be
And
doing short
Sarah.
more often now because I'm trying to change my schedule again.
Oh, cool.
So I might show up a bit more on time more often now.
All right.
And fingers
All right.
crossed
Cool.
because it's still up in the air.
All right.
Well,
Sounds
fingers
good.
fingers crossed. I'll keep my toes crossed too,
There you go. Thank you.
and my
Oh,
eyes.
Albania said it wasn't him. Yeah, I can't remember who it was. Another guy has been making the rounds claiming
Oh
he
yeah,
beat Simmons.
there was
Oh,
one guy on
yeah.
that did in the past week the John Cohen show. He did show up and just start saying, "I'm just gonna beat your ass." Yeah, so
Yeah, I
there's
saw
some
that
guy
one.
running around with that. Yeah,
All right, sounds good. And
Thanks, Tuna
please,
Man, for being around.
yeah,
yeah,
Tuna.
and make sure you protect yourself from getting turned into a pretzel. So,
I'm not worried about that.
Take out pretzel insurance.
I'm broke, man.
all right, okay, all right.
Good
Good night,
luck. Have fun,
everyone.
those
Thanks for
guys.
being on.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye
everybody.
bye.
Good
Take
night.
care.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Challenge your beliefs, let the silence break the silence, shake the faith. Truth survives, the heart is quick. Hold to truth, no more opaque. Reason's voice, it sings so clear through fear we hear. Cut through the noise, dissolve the fear. Rise above what you revere. No more shadows dressed as truth. Light reveals what lies uncouth. No more chains disguised as proof. Reason frees the mind uncouth. Let the evidence ascend. This is fallacy's end. Scriptures written in disguise, veiling men in holy lies. Faith without a place to land. Truth that crumbles when it's scanned. Show me logic carved in flame, not a God who hides in shame. Test the world and break the spell. Truth survives where falsehoods fail. Hold your beliefs, let the silence break the silence, shake the faith. Truth survives, the heart is quake. Hold to truth, no more opaque. Reason's voice, it sings so clear through fear we hear. Through the noise, dissolve the fear. Rise above what you revere. No more shadows dressed as truth. Light reveals what lies uncouth. No more chains disguised as proof. Reason frees the mind uncouth. Let the evidence ascend. This is fallacy's end.